All right, so once you have the image set up here, and then we can try to upload it. Now to upload the image to the cloud, you do need a service, and then in this case, we're gonna come back to Firebase again. So Firebase is a complete service for the whole backend functionalities, especially for the most function you use very often. So we covered about authentication, we covered database, and then this time we're going to use something called storage. So the difference between storage and database is storage is supposed to save files, okay, large size files. That's the best use case, right? So to start this, I can just click on the get started, and then you can specify some of the security rules. All right, click on next, and then we will actually need to choose a location. Let's see. Yeah, we can't really change the location. I think we can just do the US Central. That's okay. Let's click on done. All right, so it's gonna allocate the space for you to put the files, and it's really easy to use. All right, so they call it a bucket. So basically, a certain name for the file-based system. All right, so while we're waiting, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add a Flutter dependency. So we're gonna use Flutter Firebase Storage. Okay, so we're gonna use that one. This is the library, so let's actually install this one first to our app. Okay, so we go to the Android Studio, go to YAML file, add this dependency right here. All right, let's try to get the package. And then this one here does show you some of the simple use case. If you look at it here, okay, so you can go ahead to check this document in detail. It looks almost the same as the other ones, right? So you do the storage reference dot instance dot reference, and then you do a child, which is the path, and then you create this kind of a put data where you upload all the the data to the fire storage, and then you can register listener when this one is done, and then you will know it's actually complete. So something like this. So this looks like this is the sample code we use. All right, let's come back to see if the Firebase had been storage had been set up. Here we go. So this is the folder name for your bucket, and then you can upload any of the files, right? So you can try to upload some kind of image. In this case, I'm just going to put a YouTube cover image here, and then you can then save your image right here. So once you have the image right here, you can have the name, and you can have the URL. If you click on this one, you can open it, but then you can also make sure this is a public, right? So to make this simple, okay, we want to make sure the image are all public, right? So I'm going to go ahead to change the rule, right? So in production, obviously you don't want to do this, but right now for development, to make something simple, I'm just going to allow all the read and write so that it's actually easy to specify. Okay, so it's very easy to test. Oops. All right, so I set everything to be true. All right, and if true, right? So let's publish this one here. All right, so we just make everything as public, so that's easier for us to test. All right, so and then from here, I think we can also get some kind of a URL, access token, and metadata. And so the key here we need is to make sure this is a public URL. Okay, we can write. So I can try to do this one here, and it's not allowed. And I think there should be ways for us to turn this into a public file. Okay, let's try it. So I'm going to refresh this one again. Maybe it's because of the rules we set up. All right, so right now the rules right here. Okay, let's try this one more time. And if I don't do the key right here, the URL, and this is not permitted, and does that give us any kind of issues here? Or we actually do need the URL. Let me see. There's a token here. All right, so let's actually leave it here. So maybe the token is just needed. I'm just not sure if this token will be expiring. Okay, but let's just go ahead and try it first. Okay, so again, here you can actually also create a folders. You can create a folder like a profile, photos, just for you to manage all the pictures. So that's it. So that's the storage service. Now, the key here is in the code, how we're gonna do it. All right, so we're gonna install this library, and then we're gonna come back to this code here where we got the image. So this one is under the screenshot take a picture page. All right, so as you can see, this one is the part that we got all the files, right? And so from here, what we can do is we can try, for example, we can add a button. to test it. Okay, let's just test the upload. Okay, I'm gonna do a raise button, child, which is a text. Okay, upload. Okay, let's just make sure this one works. All right, we click the button, we can upload it. And then to upload the photo, right now what we have is actually the path, right? So we need to see if that's support by the storage SDK. So we're gonna do a Firebase Storage instance reference .child. All right, so this one is supposed to be the path, right? The path, we're gonna do a profile. And then let's see what kind of functionality we can do. There should be upload, update, put data, put file. All right, so looks like this is the one to use, right? To put data, to put file, and let's see which one is better. Okay, let's try the file. Okay, let's do the put file. All right, when we're doing the file, we have to provide the file object. All right, so that means before you do that, we need to get the file object. All right, so for Flutter, how can we create a file object? So we need to do the file class, and looks like we just need a file path, so that's easy. So we got a file to upload, which is the file, and here we got a file path, image path. All right, so here we can do the file to upload. All right, and then we should have something here for the listeners, right? So we can actually register the events. We can do is we can also check some other events. So let's try the events, and let's do listen. All right, let's actually find out the event right here. So I assume that some of the events happening, you're going to receive the notification here. So let's actually see the event. Is there a type or a name? So let's actually print it. Maybe we'll just print it. Okay, we'll call it uploading event. All right, so let's see what are the changes. Okay, see if this one works. Okay, so I'm gonna restart the app. Okay, rerun it because there are some new dependencies coming. Yeah, let's stop this whole thing and restart it. All right, so yeah, this part is supposed to be really simple to use. It's follows exactly the same kind of format as other Firebase services. So we use a reference and then child per file. So put file, file upload, then events listen, all the events going on. All right. So let's just wait and see. All right, so go here, log in, user 8, 1 2 3 4 5 6. All right, and then log in here. All right, so we are talking about editing the profile. We're coming here. That's going to open a camera. We're going to take a picture right here. All right, so when that is done, all right, so we got this file right here. I'm going to click on the button this time to upload it. All right, so looks like we're getting some events here, and we're not really showing the event type. Actually, we should do this event dot type. I think there's some kind of type thing, and there's some any other name here we can print. Maybe that's going to tell us the time, right? So this is the better. So first of all, let's actually check if the file actually goes out to the Firebase. So click on the file. No, looks like it's not coming. So oh, actually it goes to here. This is the per file. So this is the image we just uploaded. Looks like we gotta change this path here. This one actually specify the whole name. So if you want to do the folder, you do a per file slash, and then you will actually do the file name, right? So I'm gonna put the image path at the file name, or actually it will generate the file name. Okay, using the timestamp. File name. Daytime. Now, milliseconds. All right, so this is the image profile picture. I'll just do a long name. Form a name. All right, so got a file name here. and I'm going to use that one to upload the file. Let's see what happens. All right, so restart this one here. All right, so I'm going to try this one more time. Click on upload. All right, progress, success. Awesome. Once it's a success, it's done. And then we go here to track this one more time. And this time the image shows up here. All right, so we should actually do a this is the PNG or JPEG. Looks like this is the PNG. All right, so then we actually need to form a file name. All right, so that's how you can upload the image to the Fire storage, right? So once you have the file here, and then see there's a link here, the URL. Now the next thing to do is how can we actually get the URL, right? So if this is done, can we actually get the URL, right? So let's actually find some of the documentation to see if we can find anything right here, giving us any examples. So examples here, if there are any kind of a URL data we can get, URL. All right, so there's something called a get download URL, and yeah, I think you can get from the reference. All right, so once that's finished, we should be able to get the download URL. Okay, so let's try this. So basically, if you want to do that, we will need to know when the thing is successful. All right, so we can actually try to say if the event type equals to the storage event type success, that means it's successful, right? So then we're gonna get the actual URL. Okay, so let's try this again. Firebase Storage instance reference child, and then we're gonna do the same thing here because that's the one you just uploaded. All right, and then we do get download URL. Okay, and then this is gonna give us the actual URL, I assume. Okay, catch error. All right. All right, so here is, let's print the URL. Let's see what the value is. So this one is supposed to give us URL, and then print fail to get the URL. Okay, so let's refresh the code here. Try this one more time. I'm going to click on upload. Let's create another file, and eventually we got this URL. Okay, so if we click on this URL, and actually it brings this URL, the image. Okay, so let's not worry too much about the token or anything, but for now, as you can see, this one does give you the return URL that you can directly use to put it into your app, right? So one more thing to do is once this one is done, I can return the whole thing and then send the URL back so that the front end, the previous screen, the profile screen can actually receive it, right? So in order to do that, we need to look at how do we actually return the value from Flutter, right? So like when this one is done, I want to go to the previous screen, and then we also want to go to the previous one. So when they come back here, I can receive the URL, I can actually set the image, right? So to do that, we need to do like Flutter return value from screen, something like this. Let's see how that works. Return data from a screen, and looks like it's not too difficult, right? So you got a home screen here, you got to launch another screen. All right, so it looks like you're gonna do await. You're gonna await something, and when that is finished, then you got a result. And then when you are trying to return it, how are you gonna return it? You're gonna basically, let's see the code here. When you close, you do the pop, and then I think this is the way you can return it. All right, so this is kind of the important part of the code. Actually, let's try this. Okay, so coming back to my app here. All right, so once this is successfully done, I'm going to return and close the page to return this URL. Okay, that's the most important thing we're looking for. All right, so in order to do this, then you also need to, when you are calling this screen right here, okay, this one, we got to change it. We got to await for this one. So let's see the code right here. You need to say that I want to await for this, okay, final result, await for this one here. All right, so this one here, it can be final. Oh, it's actually because oh, sorry, I did the wrong thing here. So this one is here when you are pushing it. I think it's actually this part here. All right, so you are going to wait for this one and then got the result. All right, so but then you can also do, because this is actually the camera view, so once this is done, you need to do the same thing. You need to also close the camera view to return that result back to the previous caller. So right here. Okay, so we need to pop and return that result. All right, and then finally, when they come back to this screen, which is the user profile page, and then I will also need to wait. So I will create a wait function to wait for the result. When this one comes back, and then I can just set the URL, the image. Okay, so so I can change this user profile image to be the result. All right, and then I will set state. So that's supposed to actually update the image for us, right? So let's actually run everything again, see if that works. All right, so try one more time. All right, so we got a user8gmail.com. This one here is 123456. Log in. All right, so click on edit. Click on this one here. Click on the button to take a picture. Upload it. When it's finished, all right, go back and then it's updated here. And then the last thing we need to do is to also update our database in the Firebase. So I'm going to do one more instance.reference.child. So this is friends and the UID. So UID come from user profile dot and then the UID here. All right. So once you locate it, I can just set the whole user profile again, since we got to update the image. And then when it's finished, we can just give a notification that this is finished. Catch error. All right, update it. All right. Fail to update the user profile. All right. So let's put everything together. So eventually this account should be, image should be saved to the database. Okay. So let's log in. User8@gmail.com. Okay. Or maybe we'll try different. User5. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I'm going to log in. Oh, this is the wrong URL. Maybe user 10. And no, let me retype the password 123456. All right, so once we log in here, open the profile. This is Jimmy. I click on the button here, take a picture, and once this is confirmed, I'm going to upload it. When this is finished, it's going to return back, coming here, and I will also update the Firebase database. Let's actually see here. The Firebase database for Jimmy should have an updated URL somewhere here, right? So it's actually exactly the same one we actually put here, and that's a URL. So that's how we can put all the service together using the consistent authentication, use storage, and also the database. All right, so the files are all here, as you can see, and they're the same file you actually uploaded from the phone. All right, so that is a very quick example on how to actually use the Firebase Storage to do things. It's really simple, and just look at the code right here, how we register listener, and then to do the upload file thing. All right, so everything has been simplified with the Firebase. It's a great tool to use.